Coach Jeffers from Power Basketball. Welcome to Power ENT Blog Series Episode 8, The Coach's Corner, Part 2. Alright, we'll be interviewing Coach Stan Johnson from Marquette and Coach Mark Phelps from Arizona University, two high major D1 schools. Alright, I want you to listen in. Parents, players, listen in to what these coaches have to say about kids playing at the next level and setting themselves up for life after basketball. All right, so Coach, talk to me about, I want the youth to know what it's like to be a Division I player, and what do you, as a coach at Arizona, what do you look for when you're recruiting a player? What are some key factors that you look for?
Sure. Obviously, talent is the one thing that will get the attention of a college coach, especially at our level. But that's just the very, very beginning. Obviously, if you don't have natural talent, especially at a place like Arizona, it's just not going to work. But beyond the talent part, you certainly have to be a good citizen. Character means so much because, as we all know, there's so many guys that have a lot of talent that just haven't been able to put it together in their personal life and really had great discipline to stick with it. And then if I can go talent, then character, then kind of an offshoot of character is a great work ethic and a great work capacity.
Social skills will take you a long way after the ball stop bouncing. A lot of these guys, they don't have the skill. I guess social media is kind of giving them a barrier to not have the social skills, you know what I mean? So they don't really understand how to interview or how to speak or how to do anything. So tell me about the importance of that as a basketball player.
No, I think it's a great point, Jeremy. The biggest thing, if you think about it, your time with the ball not bouncing is so much longer than your time with the ball bouncing. If you think about it, your after basketball life is going to be a lot longer, hopefully, than your time, with the ball in your hand. So academically, first, you have to make the grades to make it to Division I. The NCAA, one of the things they've done is they've really stepped up the standards, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think when standards are raised, people have a tendency to just do whatever they have to do to rise up and meet those standards. So that's a good thing. But the other part is, it's a big buzzword nowadays is emotional intelligence. How are you around other people? How do you conduct yourself? How do you interact?
Right.
How do other people receive you? I think it's a huge deal. You mentioned it in your question. Do you have the ability to interact with other people, to know your place, to know when to give value? All those things are important, your social skills. So I think, while you're training to be a good basketball player, man, you got to obviously hit the books. But, the etiquette training of the past is almost, by the wayside. And I think we kind of maybe need to revive just old school, normal social etiquette behavior. I think that would be a positive step in anybody's life to continue to be successful.
Okay. Appreciate it, Coach.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome for sure.
All right, man. I know you stay busy. I'll holler at you soon.
All right, man. Tell your family I said hello, please. Good luck with everything.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Take care.
All right, bye. All right, Coach. So, you got kids in high school and middle school have, big dreams of playing on a high level Division I school. Talk to me about what Marquette basketball looks for in a player when they're recruiting.
For us, number one, you got to be a team guy. And you have to, what I mean by that, you got to be over yourself. And when you come to Marquette, when we take a kid, he's got to fit into our culture. And our culture, the culture we're trying to create here is a culture that is not about I, it's about we.
Right.
And it's about us winning. It's about we doing well.
Right.
And, a lot of times that's really hard for kids because they spend most of their lives hearing what they want to hear, getting told that, that they're the greatest.
Right.
All those good things, which I'm sure are true. But for us, you have to be that in the team sense. So that's the number one thing. So when you're out evaluating, you're watching how a guy takes coaching. You're you're evaluating how much energy he gives his teammates.
Right.
You know, what kind of demeanor he has towards somebody who's giving them constructive criticism. That's really big because that creates your culture.
Right.
And, you know, guys that want to be coached and want to learn and want things to be more than just about what they can get out of the deal, more so what we can all do together is, you know, really what we want is what we strive for, is what we teach. We want people that are about progress and that are self-motivated, that don't need to be pushed every single day. You know,
Right.
we want guys that are going to come in here and ask us to do more.
What do you think, you know, kids in this day and age coming out of high school, what do you think that they lack that you would like to see more of, as far as, is it IQ or physique? What do you think that this generation of kids lacks?
Yeah, you know, I think the biggest thing is these, you know, I think the new age guys lack is what I kind of alluded to at first, and it's an ability to not always worry about yourself.
Right.
Like, you know, most guys now they want to work out.
Right.
They want to get in the gym. They want the cones. They want to work out.
Right.
You know, but what we forget is you have to compete.
Right.
You know, you got to compete. And a lot of these workouts, it's 1-on-0. You got the ball, and you're with the
Right.
coach is telling you what to do. And there's a place for that, and that's really important.
Right.
But competition,
Right.
embracing competition, you know, lacing your shoes up and going to work and battling somebody every single day for a spot,
Right.
you know, being uncomfortable that way. You know, a lot of guys, like I said, they want to work out, they want to do all those things, but they don't want to compete against somebody else like you have to. And I think if kids can work out and learn how to compete and embrace that, they would be much further ahead once they get to college. And I think it's, you know, one of the reasons you see a lot of kids transfer and all these, because there's just not, everybody wants something to be handed to them.
Right.
And we run from competition. So,
Stress how important academics is, you know, and preparing yourself for life after basketball. I feel like a lot of kids, you know, they shoot their hopes up for these high schools, high Division I schools, and then, I mean, when it gets junior, senior year of high school, you know, they're not really getting recruited or anything. Talk about how important setting yourself up for life after is.
I mean, you know, there's nothing more important than that.
Right.
Honestly. And I think, you know, that's not only on the kids, that's on coaches, that's on mentors, that's on parents.
Right.
You know, I think that starts in the home, that starts with your circle. A lot of times we put more emphasis on how many points a guy scored in a high school game or an AAU game or more than what his grades are.
Right.
In the classroom. And so from the beginning, kids develop this mindset of basketball is important. Basketball is important, but it shouldn't be the only thing you do. It shouldn't be what defines you.
Right.
Because reality is, you have a better chance of being an astronaut than you do an NBA player.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to be able, for all of us, everybody who grew up, for the most part, that played the game wanted to be a pro.
Right.
And you should have those dreams and aspirations. But the great ones, they create options for themselves. And basketball should be something, it should be a vehicle that allows you to touch a lot of different stars. And the biggest one that you can touch is academically. And it should be used to do that. Basketball shouldn't use you, because the ball is going to stop bouncing, and you see it so much. The ball stops bouncing, guys don't get their degree, and you know, now you're in your 30s, you're in your late 20s, your mid 30s, and you're lost.
Right.
And a lot of those kids are really smart, they're really intelligent. There's a lot of things that they're capable of doing, but they just haven't been directed. Their focus,
Right.
Their thought process hasn't been challenged. And you know, to be a great player, a lot of that you got to be a willing learner.
Right.
Some of that is learning to do things that you don't like. You know, I went to school, I didn't necessarily love it, but I
Right.
knew I had to do that because without that, I couldn't be a coach.
Right.
You know, we all can't be players, but if we can get our degree, that degree allows us to stay in the game in a lot of different capacities.
Right.
You know, so you can hang your hat on one thing, or you can create a lot of different options for yourself. And there's nothing more important than academics.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Just like Coach Stan Johnson said, all right, you want to prepare yourself for life after basketball. All right, academics is first. You guys who want to get to that level, you have to compete. Like he said, compete. All right, it's a huge part. All right, go and subscribe to our YouTube channel below at Power B-Ball NC. It's the same name for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, go follow Power Basketball Philly. All right, we're in Philadelphia, and follow Power Fitness on Facebook and Instagram. All right, guys, have a great one.